When we look around the state of the world that we're in, the state of our lives and the troubles which seem to hem us in on all of our sides, it's often hard to imagine that God has got everything figured out. Imagine what Habakkuk thought when he saw the armies of Babylon coming against his people, the chosen people Israel. Here's what he said, "O Lord, how long shall I cry and you will not hear, even cry out to you violence and you will not save? Why do you show me iniquity and cause me to see trouble? For plundering and violence are before me. There is strife and contention arises. Therefore the law is powerless and justice never goes forth. For the wicked surround the righteous. Therefore perverse judgment proceeds." The absolutely horrifying things which have happened in history can really cause us, each one of us, to question God's goodness and his ability to keep things under control. But I want you all to know that that is the furthest thing from the truth. Why is the question? Why should God interfere with us and our free will when we don't want him around at all? When everything is going well, as humans, we only seek him when they start going bad. But when it is going well, we don't seek out God. We don't look after him. We just live our lives callously. And you can see this in every culture around us as things are going well. But the first thing that happens when things go poorly is people cry out, "Oh God, why me?" Or "Why us?" Or "Why did this happen?" But the point I'm making is that as I post happy and cheerful and uplifting daily devotionals, the numbers go up. But as soon as I post one that speaks about judgment, I see the numbers start going back down. And people email me and they accuse me of not being like Jesus, when in fact Jesus is the one that wrote the book. All I'm doing is I'm taking the verse and I'm just analyzing it. The book of Jude, I lost a ton of people in the book of Jude, because Jude is, everybody here knows, it is about judgment on an unrepentant and wicked world. And that's the way it is. The same thing happens in my Bible classes. It happens in my sermons. If I preach a sermon on judgment, or if I say something about judgment in a Bible class, I notice people don't come the next week. And this is the way that it is. People just get offended about it. But this is a problem with misunderstanding the nature of evil and the consequences of sin. Be it in an individual, be it in your family, be it in a church body, or be it in a nation. This is the way that these things are. And God has given us his word to help us understand that. So if judgment bothers you, and I don't think it bothers most people here, I've seen you all come and go, but if it does, you have to take this up with God. And he is going to tell you that everything will work out in the end. That's just the way it is. But until then, the devil needs to be dealt with, and sin needs to be dealt with. Judgment begins at the house of God. That is a pattern that is seen in the Old Testament. It's a pattern that's seen in the New Testament. Judgment begins at the house of God, and it begins with God's people. And if you struggle with this, if in fact Israel is God's people and they were judged, like Habakkuk, he struggled with it, he took it up with the Lord. If America is the defender of Israel and they get judged because they are not properly handling their relationship with Israel, we need to take it up with God. We need to not argue with God about it. We need to just say, "Lord, open your word to me and explain it." The two